So James, we made a bet last week.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So first off, I had to Venmo you $5. Are we talking about this bet first?
Yeah, I'm $5 richer because of this bet.
Yeah, so we saw the Mario movie. Starring the plumber, the green one, the monkey. But anywho, I bet real money that there would at least be a silent but deadly joke in this movie. This is usually what we find in other video game adaptations. Like Detective Pikachu, for example. I could smell that joke a mile away.
Yeah.
However, there wasn't any bathroom jokes in this movie.
There was none. And I had faith. I didn't think Miyamoto would let it happen.
Oh, see, I went full, like, I was betting on the Minions company.
Yeah, and I was like, no, the tight grip of Nintendo, they're not going to let it happen. But did you catch the moment where there's a moment in the Mario movie where you can so clearly see the conversation, like the boardroom conversation between the Minions people and the Nintendo people, like shoot down a fart joke.
I think there was a couple of instances where they could have placed them.
So there was the one in the water where like a bubble popped up because there was a monster under the sea. Mm-hmm. And Mario says, "Did you feel that?" Instead of, "Oh,
Luigi.
Was that you?"
Yeah, was that you?
Donkey Kong.
Yeah, Donkey Kong. What did you do?
Therefore making me $5 richer. So thank you.
Yes, and I think I paid you while in the theater, so...
Yeah, you turned your cell phone up to max brightness.
Well, yeah, so I will say the environment in which we watched it was with like 20 other children.
Yeah.
It was a 30th birthday party that was mostly for
adults.
Chris Shriver. He's been on the show with us.
Yeah,
a Toadstool boardroom podcast. So he's he legally works for Nintendo.
Yeah.
But so he had to see the movie. But yeah, so it was mostly for like, his siblings have like 20 kids and stuff. So like it was a very relaxed environment. Like Rowan was there with big headphones on and just like I was throwing like pirate's booty at him. But he watched the whole movie and you could be on your phone and you could talk and stuff. So it was the ideal way to watch that movie, I think.
That's a very unique experience.
My cat's ripping up the chair, Richie.
Yeah, is Ben okay? I hear him.
Dude. Oh, God. Yeah, poor guy. But anywho, I'm glad that was the environment I watched in. I think if I watched that... remember when we went and saw the live-action Avatar, The Last Airbender movie?
Yeah.
And, like, the audible disappointment from the crowd, because it was mostly just, like, young adults in the theater being like, this movie can't be bad. And it was.
When the audience started laughing at things that weren't supposed to be funny, that's when I got really sad in that theater.
Yeah. It's like, oh no, it isn't good. As where I think the Mario movie, like maybe if we were in a theater of like just a bunch of 30-something-year-old people, like maybe they'd give the movie more crap, but I think since I watched it and saw like a bunch of kids enjoying the hell out of it, like they thought everything was funny.
Yeah.
I'm like, see, I think this is a good movie.
Yeah. So is that your takeaway? We can put like a timer on this conversation. I don't think we have to talk about the Mario movie for too long.
No. Yeah, so that's my takeaway. I think it is a fun movie for kids. Like the plot points aren't really strong or anything, but like, it drives the point of like a Mario game. For example, Plumber shows up in a world filled with pipes and turtles and has to go get the princess from Bowser. He does that.
I'm so glad you said that because I have like a similar takeaway. Because like the first layer of this is like critics going, "Oh, what is this? A kids movie?" And the answer is like, yeah, it is. But on like the flip side of that, I kind of thought it was for everyone the same way that a Mario game is for everyone. If you go into it with the right expectations, like don't expect deep themes because you're not expecting that in a Mario game. It's just like fun.
Yeah, Nintendo delivers fun Mario games, and they've delivered on this fun Mario movie.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong was just Seth Rogen, and honestly, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. And I made money on it, so
That's
I'm good.
probably,
with
and I
it.
lost money and still came out thinking it was fine.
That says a lot. That says a lot. Anywho,
So we saw that movie. However, we did also have homework from our last episode to discuss in this episode.
we did have homework. Remind me, what did we do last episode?
Well, so we sort of gave a recap on our initial game swap, where essentially the point is you got to stop recommending games to people unless you're willing to lose something or gain a recommendation in return. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing at stake when you, hey, play my favorite game. Oh, yeah? Well, how about you play mine?
You got to barter.
You got to game up. That's a term. So, yeah, we traded Nier for Yakuza. We talked about that. But we came up with a new trade, which geez. Hey, I just wrote down my game is called Considerate.
Kuukiyomi.
Thank you. Kuukiyomi, Considerate.
Yeah.
That was my task. Now, I got off the recording last week and burned through the first one immediately.
I saw that. Like in Discord. Like
Yeah.
I was like going to edit the episode, and in Discord it was like, yeah, James is playing Kuukiyomi Considerate.
Yeah. And then I went and played. Wow, I guess I should give some context for the game. So, it's a lot like WarioWare. You know, the art's a little more simple. It's like big circular characters. They're blue and red and then like black outlines. But yeah, it plays a little like WarioWare. But the idea is that you want to try and do the most considerate thing in all the various situations it's throwing at you, which is like 100 of them.
Yeah, Kuukiyomi, I think it literally translates to read the air, but like meaning wise, it's kind of like read the room, right?
Yeah. I did that. I played through all 100 levels. Then after that, it unlocks some more modes, and there's like an inconsiderate mode where you gotta do like
you gotta be the nastiest dude in the room.
like people will be coming into the frame to grab a seat on the train, and you just don't move, even though there's plenty of room around you.
Yeah.
But then I went and I got the second one as well, and I played through that.
It's just 100 more levels.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
I cut myself off there, even though there is a third one.
Yeah, you'll get to it eventually.
There's also a co-op mode where we can both play as people, and that might be something funny.
Yeah, I didn't try that.
Yeah, I wanna try that pretty bad, but I want to say that there was like an underlying story in the first one.
Yeah, there was like certain elements that would be repeated. Oftentimes it's like, oh, you're with your girlfriend, and I don't know, your girlfriend's a horse, and yeah, the two options are sushi or like farm food.
Yeah.
So you take your horse girlfriend to get farm food or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and it started like, because I guess early on in how I was playing, I think the levels are pretty random, except for maybe like certain like checkpoints. But I know, like one, like you're on it taking your girlfriend on like the first date, and it's like you can either go see the rom-com or like a sci-fi movie, and you take her to see the rom-com. That's the considerate thing in that situation. But as your dates are going on, you're presented that choice again. But now she's also wearing like, she's basically dressed up like a robot. She's wearing like a mech suit. She's dressed up like a Gundam. And you can either take her to see the same rom-com, or you can go to the sci-fi convention. So like there's a little development there. But then there's also aliens that are kind of appearing in places, which eventually leads to maybe your character getting abducted and you have to answer a bunch of yes or no questions.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's like, do you want destroy the world? And you go, no. You can like put your hand up or down.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, like I got an ending. Can we spoil this game?
Yeah, let's spoil the ending.
Okay, my character was like on his deathbed. Did that happen to you?
What was it? I thought someone else was on their deathbed and like you're holding their hand.
Okay, I thought I was the one dying in that situation.
I might have read it the wrong way.
Yeah, where like it sort of felt like, hey, I wasn't considerate enough in life. Like, go find someone better than me.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah.
That was at least my takeaway from it. So there was like a weird heavy element at the end of the game, but for the most part, you're just being polite for 100 levels.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to be polite, based on like the limited information that you have and making like split second, like really quick decisions.
Yeah, with zero input on how the controls work.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of fun playing this, and it seemed, if I had to guess it, like, if there was a list of like 100 games on it with some recommendations for what like you were going to tell me to play, I think I could pick this thing out of a lineup.
Yeah.
It just seemed like something you probably had up your sleeve. So I had a nice time playing it. I don't know if I'm going to play the third one yet.
One last thing that I really enjoyed. At the very end, they'll give you like a graph of like how well you did based on like, how do I say this?
I think I saved my my screenshots of
Did you save
results. Yeah.
There's like quick decision making. There's like empathy, maybe. You know, if you have it, that'd be helpful. I might have mine too.
Yeah, I have the first one. So you're rated on a couple things. So you got your determination, sympathy, ability to fit in, sense of duty, quick thinking, and application.
Yeah.
For
what
mine,
did you score highest in? Yeah.
it says your quick thinking is your best ability, and I was slapstick comedian level,
Okay.
which sounds about right.
Usually the ability to fit in jokes, I think, land the best. Most notably when there's like, you know, the Adidas tracksuit kids crouching down, like jail posing for a photo. And it's like, yeah, you got to crouch with them.
I have my second one as well.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So it's less in this one. So there's know-how, role comprehension, empathy, insight, and timing.
Interesting.
Yeah, mine though this one just says I was generally considerate, an understanding celebrity wife.
What does that mean?
I have no idea what that means.
I guess one more, like every 5 levels, they'll say like, you were moderately considerate. And I don't know how that ranks, like if I did a good job or a bad job.
Oh, I don't know if I sent you this picture. I mean, I'll save it for off the audio, but did you actually play through the second one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Play through the third one as well.
Oh, I was thinking maybe the third one would be one I want to do in like co-op.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably the most advanced one. But I liked at the end of the second one, there's just like a large guy you're moving in the frame of the window that a student is looking out of.
Oh, during the credits? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Here it is. I know. I just said I wasn't going to send it to you while recording, but hey, I sent it to you.
There it is.
Oh, do you have any like favorite games? What was your favorite little mini game in there? If you could remember any of them. God, there's going to be a lot of instances of you just cutting noises out of my audio for this whole recording. Or you can leave them in, actually. I think it might add character.
Is your cat throwing a fit?
There's so many things going on.
Yeah,
Discord might not be picking up on it, but Audacity's going.
No, I hear it.
Okay, good.
Favorite games.
Yeah, so like there were some notable ones. Like there's one where the person with the Olympic torch is running down, and you can just come out of the frame with a cigarette and light your cigarette on the Olympic torch.
I think I missed that one. I think I failed that completely.
And then there's also the one where you're at like a rock concert, and And they're like, Osaka is the best. And you're like, yeah. And then they're all like, all right, and the band's breaking up tomorrow. And then you can be like, you can keep cheering them on as they say sad things.
But that wouldn't be considerate.
It's not considerate. So,
Yeah.
But I did that because it's funny.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think I just like the classic, like, you're in a very weird social situation. Like, what do you do? Oftentimes they're train related or like
food. Everyone's ordering beer and you can either order something different or just order what everyone else is ordering.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah, that's all. It's all good. That's the game.
Kuukiyomi, Considerate.
There's some other things too where like it doesn't really tell you how to control some of the situations either. And that can be frustrating.
Much like WarioWare.
Yeah. yeah, exactly like that. Except this time it's like, there's like a starving kid and her older brother who wants to help.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, here's food. We're about to get food or something, and I just could not figure out how to get out of the way. So like I consistently ruined the lives of these less fortunate NPCs.
Yeah. You accidentally do some inconsiderate things just by not knowing how to play the game right away.
GG's.
So was that a good swap?
I think that was a good swap. Just because there was also more to it, so I was able to keep playing them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It really made me want to play WarioWare though.
Yeah.
I've never played any WarioWare.
Really?
Mm-hmm. The GBA one's on Switch.
Yeah, that's just what I was about to say. That's like that's Mega Micro Games?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the gold standard. You should play that one.
Is it like motion controls?
No. They didn't do that until like the Wii, I guess.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was like some nasty motion like gyro pack for the GBA. I thought Mega Micro Games might have had like the weird cartridge. I don't remember that, but again, I never played WarioWare.
You should play it.
I'll do it and I'll report back.
That's my new game swap.
Oh geez, I don't have anything for you yet. I'll think of it though.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious for you because I gave you two options.
Yeah, you gave me two options, two things to consider actually.
Did you consider it?
I did consider it, and I had to like pick up on some like clues, I think, some subtext, because you offered, well, I should say first you said, Richie, either play Spider-Man Miles Morales or 13 Sentinels. One of them seemed like you wanted to be considerate. You said, hey, you have the PlayStation subscription thing. You can play this one for free. That way you don't have to spend money. But I could sense that you were probably more interested in talking about 13 Sentinels.
How could you... Wait, the Sega Atlas game? How could you ever consider that?
Yeah. So I tried to be considerate, and I played a good like 3 or 4 hours of 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, that's a long one where it's not one you can really experience in a week unless you're like
a freak.
Yeah. So how did you feel about that game? Just like what they're doing with the storytelling versus throwing you into mech battles.
Yeah, I think where I'm at in the game at this moment is that I'm still lost. From what I hear about 13 Sentinels from Chris Plant and the Into the Aether guys, like I feel like I hear that like there's a moment where everything clicks.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, and really there's a lot of story moments where they kind of gate you, like, hey, like beat this level, because it's broken up into 3 different sections. I don't really care about the last section, but you have your remembrance and whatever the battle thing is. But you pick a character, go through their story basically until it's a point where like, hey, beat this level to continue.
Yeah.
So like they're pretty natural gates, and if you just follow through doing that for each character, it will start to all piece together. And there's a few like little hints at like what's happening with a lot of people. Because some people have more interesting stories than others.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like if you get the World War II guy, when like kind of futuristic stuff starts hitting his story, you're like, oh, I see what's happening.
I feel like I heard that like you can pick whatever story you want at any time. Like I there's a screen where like there's like a spotlight
Yes.
on a character. Are you able to pick any character?
Yes. Some of them are locked away until you get to a certain point with other characters.
Right. Okay.
Just because of the way the stories overlap.
Yeah. I don't know if I made it that far then.
Yeah, so there's a couple, but if you just kind of poke through the stories, but I like how, I don't know, I guess again, like kind of Ace Attorney and all that stuff, like there's always just like the floating thought bubbles around and you sort of start to realize like what you need to press people on, and
Yeah,
it's a beautiful game to look at too.
Did you notice that the main verb in the game is consider?
Considerate. Yeah. I did not realize that in hindsight. Well, obviously I didn't know what you were bringing to the show, so that's pretty messed up.
It's pretty messed up. It's a considerate app. No, the art style is so good though.
Yeah, it's vanilla where they draw all their they draw everything. So it's all little hand drawn maps, little hand drawn characters.
I actually like navigating like a 3D kind of space with a 2D character.
Yeah.
That feels good, like a little Paper Mario.
Oh, well, you might like Danganronpa then.
Might I?
Oh, yeah, it's like the same concept, but you are sort of the 3D space moving around and everyone in it is a cutout.
Interesting.
Now, for 13 Sentinels, I found the best way to enjoy the game was like, I played it when I still had my exercise bike around.
Yeah.
And I would just sit on that and walk around and talk to everyone and do all the story stuff.
Yeah.
It's not too like, the game doesn't ask very much of you. So it's a good like mindless cardio game.
Yeah. How did you feel about the like the gameplay elements of the mech kaiju battles?
I think it's fun. I wish I could see the robots better.
Interesting. You had a hard time.
Yeah, like it's sort of on like the whole grid is like a blue sort of space.
Yeah.
I wish I could look at the mechs in a little more detail.
Yeah, I hear you.
Just to see them, or even the aliens too. Like they're more like just red dots on a map.
Right. At first, I was kind of like, "What is this game doing here?" Like I was kind of just like into the visual novel stuff, and I was like, this kind of feels like a chore. But when I last played it, I started to get into the game.
Good.
Yeah, I was like, this is actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it clicks, and I forget who can do it, but there's a couple characters that can just like lob long range stuff. Like you get into they have a really good tactical thing they figured out with it, where like it actually has a good game feel. If I want to use like podcaster terms, it's got good game feel.
Yeah, like game feel, narrative breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I'd say like for the visual presentation, it's a little low, but it's fun. However, all the presentation is in the visual novel part.
True, yeah.
That's where all the narrative breadcrumbs are too.
Yeah, and boy, are there so many breadcrumbs in this game.
Ooh, what did you get it on? Switch or PlayStation?
The Nintendo Switch.
Oh, that's a good. I was considering rebuying it, but I played it back on the PS4.
Yeah, you're an OG. I didn't realize you played this so long ago.
Yeah, I got it the day it came out.
Really?
Because it was Sega Atlas.
Dang.
I was like, oh shoot! And at that point, I had already beaten. I don't want to mix my timelines up. I feel like at this point, I had beaten Persona 5. And possibly Persona 4. So like I was really on my just like Atlas kick, and I didn't know where else to find their games. Oh, and I think Catherine. I think I beat Catherine around this time as well. And then 13 Sentinels was coming out, so I scooped that up, and like nobody cared about it.
Right, which is again the thesis of the game swap. It's nobody cares about this game that I really want to like play and talk to someone about. So that's what I'm doing here. Yeah. So that you can talk about 13 Sentinels.
And this was the chance. I think the game is like, and definitely like some of the names you mentioned, like Chris Plant, stuff like they, like talking about this game and giving it great praise for like years now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this game I think has been succeeding through word of mouth for a while. Hence, like the Switch port, and it's pretty well loved now, I would say. And like if you look up a ranking of like best Vanillaware games, this tends to be number one.
What are other Vanillaware games? I haven't even like heard of that until 13 Sentinels.
It's a bit like Odin Sphere, Dragon Crown, Grim Grimoire.
I've never heard
these
of any of
games. Dang, I think there's some other, but they have a lot of okay, so like Grim Grimoire, that one they just actually remade on the Switch, and that plays like it's a girl who goes to an all magic school, you know, like wizard school, and sort of plays out like a tower defense game.
Interesting.
And then Dragon's Crown is a beat 'em up with like 6 different classes. So you can play as like a sorceress, elf, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just like a beat 'em up, like Castle Crashers or something, but it's like a lot more combo heavy. You know, you got to do air dashes and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell Odin Sphere is.
That's the one I feel like I might have heard the name spoken out loud.
Yeah. And like all their games look like 13 Sentinels is the most beautiful out of all of these, but like they have such a distinct art style for all these games.
Yeah.
Really beautiful like brushstrokes. Is it brushstrokes? I don't know. I don't have the artist's eye. Did they paint it? Is it finger paints?
I don't know. You have to ask them.
Did you tell me the medium?
I don't know. It could be digital.
I think they painted it.
Oftentimes, like, I don't know. I know like the backgrounds in like Miyazaki movies are actually painted.
Oh, of course.
But I feel like a lot of things are just done digital nowadays because you can like replicate it and it's just easier to do.
Yeah, there's no point to get like, you know, cleaning a brush, maybe getting paint on your fingers.
Yeah. You don't have to get the paint on your fingers anymore.
Yeah, you don't need to smear charcoal with your skin.
Yeah, they don't tell you that.
That is the full extent of my art knowledge on display. Man, I also I hurt my wrist playing all these video games.
You got a brace on right now, don't you?
I do have a brace on right now. And it keeps it does. It comes in waves though. Like yesterday, I felt like nauseous from how bad it was hurting. Dang. And it kind of corresponds like with nights that I'm maybe like up a little too late playing World of Warcraft. Like after last Wednesday, my wrist stopped working. I was like, dang, all right. So then I didn't play for the rest of the week, but there's like a direct correlation there. Yeah,
the amount of time you spend playing WoW
correlates
finally with your wrist pain.
It's finally punishing me. Like, dude, I couldn't even play Dragon Quest.
Right, because it's your left hand.
Yeah, it's my freaking finger, my joystick button.
Yeah.
I guess the Joy-Cons aren't really like... I have a big handle thing that's pretty good for it, but for the most part, pretty painful hitting the little Joy-Con buttons.
Yeah, the Switch is not ergonomic.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And like, let's see, I had Dredge. Again, fishing sucked.
Fishing sucked? Dude, I've been playing a lot of Dredge, I'm gonna be honest.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Oh!
Been playing a lot of Dredge.
Okay. Yeah, no, I love Dredge. It sucks in the fact that, like, my hand hurts. I've been just so scared, though.
Yeah. We'll hop on a stream. I'll help you through it.
All right, cool. I sort of want to, like, with the confidence you give me, I sort of want to sail out into the darkness.
Yeah, because I don't know if you know this about me, James, but I'm kind of like a horror movie guy.
Ain't that some shit?
I don't get scared at all. So I'll hold your hand through Dredge.
Thank you. I but yeah, I have a really hard time with scary video games.
Which is funny because what I just said was a lot. You're the horror movie guy, and I hate horror.
Yeah, but I'm a little chicken lad. But there is just such like a rush that I chase in these horror stories and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, let's play Dredge soon.
Yeah. We'll schedule it off. But hey, I'm free the next 2 days.
Next 2 days?
Next 2 days. 2-day Tuesday.
Well, you tell me, April or Monday?
April.
Monday or Tuesday?
April or Monday. Oh, jeez.
Sick.
What do we So we established the game swap. Talked about the games.
Mm-hmm.
Overall good experience. Everyone trade your games. Do we have to set up?
But not for free.
Yeah, not for free. Do we have to set up another episode?
No, we can figure it out before next week.
All right, good. I don't think any games come out.
No.
April stinks.
Yeah. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Sweet. We checking out? Did you cue the big cane that pulls me off the stage?
See, I was thinking more of like a check, please.
Oh yeah. Who's grabbing it? Who's grabbing the check? By me asking that means I'm not grabbing it.
Yeah. And I just made $5 off of you, so I guess it would be considerate if I grab the check.
I'm glad you've considered that.
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. All right. Well, consider checking out our YouTube channel.
Dude, sick.
Nice. DGA
Dude,
podcast.
that was sick. Yeah, I'm on Tumblr. Find me.
Mastodon. Go hunting.
Peace.
Later.